Yes, I think we can start.
Okay. Uh, Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the online short-term course series brought to you by Skillveda. We are thrilled to have you join us for this exciting learning journey. This is our second session on NEP, an important and transformative initiative in the field of education in India. The NEP 2020 aims to transform India's education system by 2040, making it more inclusive, equitable, and holistic. The policy proposes a new curriculum structure emphasizing multilingual education, vocational training, digital and equitable education. The ultimate goals of NEP 2020 are to ensure universal access to quality education, promote equity and inclusion, focus on quality and excellence, and foster a culture of research and innovation. A special welcome to our esteemed trainer, Captain Rekha Kapoor, a CBSE resource person with over 20 years of experience in education industry and is currently serving as the headmistress in a school to share her knowledge and experience.
Good evening, everyone. Namaskar. I think everyone is ready to learn here. Yes, so if I can have a quick thumbs up by everybody, that will be ideal. I think just a second, I'll just shift this thing so that I can see the chat box also.
Good evening.
Good evening, Siva ma'am. How are you?
I'm always best, top of the world.
Great. I love that, huh?
Good.
Top of the world. Great.
Thank you.
Okay. Right. So I think yesterday we discussed about some of the objectives of, I think the new education policy. So anybody who can just quickly give a recap, right? And in the meanwhile, I'll share my screen also. So I think there were few objectives of the program, objectives of the government to start this, first is creating awareness and understanding of the major recommendations. So we are doing this program, to understand the major recommendations of the NEP. We also doing this program to create awareness about the initiatives taken by CBSE in the light of NEP 2020. We will be also talking about that, establishing the role of school and teachers in the implementation of 2020. And we will also discuss that, we'll talk about or have a little reflection in the end. So I think, I think we are living in a word, right, which is a VUCA word. And if you ask me what is VUCA, it is, I think, probably we're just trying to understand. It is uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. We don't know what is happening, and I think things are hard to understand and predict at the moment, right? So I think it is very, very important for somebody to give us a guiding light. That's what NEP 2020 has done. And we discussed all these points. We are in a world which is a very fast changing world, and the teachers cannot be left behind. The teachers, educators, principals, we all cannot be left behind. We have to be part of this change, right? We are dealing with the 21st century learners. I'm just coming from a session on NCF of CBSE. There was a major debate and discussion about that why what are these 21st century learners? They're much advanced. I've seen yesterday was day before yesterday. No, I think yesterday was a political science paper, and I had a child, and she said, so how was your paper and stuff like that. She was not coming regularly to school, but she told me that I saw the YouTube videos. So I was like, you cannot see the YouTube videos and give your exams. It is not a right thing to do, right? So we had a very, I think, heated debate around it. But I think, so then I think I also took that opportunity that, to discuss that with the teachers, that we are in a fast changing world. We could never imagine that we could do such things when we were young, So NEP 2020 is a biggest paradigm shift in the Indian education system. So please, I think we all need to change ourselves, and we discussed about all these things yesterday, and I think we discussed about the ethos to provide a high quality education, fundamental duties, Constitution of India, and have a deep bond with the country. So we discussed all these things yesterday. We discussed the foundation pillars, which were the access, equity, affordability, accountability, and quality, right? I think if you all remember that, we also discussed what are the key principles of this policy: inclusion, participation, technology, conceptual understanding, unique capabilities of child, critical thinking and creativity, and the continuous review, right, by the educational experts. So we all are here, to continuously review this policy. So we also yesterday discussed about the major recommendations. So today, what I'm going to touch upon basically is I'm going to talk about, various things of CBSE which has come out, which will help a teacher like you and me, so to go through the documents, to know more about it, and so the focus area of this would be, shift to the competency focused teaching, learning, and assessment. That is a major shift here, transforming assessments. I think yesterday we spoke about SAFL. Did I tell you about SAFL? SAFL is a program which is going to be mandatory for all schools in grade 3, 5, and 8. It has already started in a lot of schools. It is an assessment for children, but the result will not be shared by the children. The result will be shared by the school, right? This is a major turn, I think, key point in part of assessment of SAFL of 2020, of NEP 2020, right? The school will be given a feedback, how are you in your mathematical skills, your numeracy skills, your scientific skills. So the children will not be given a feedback in SAFL, and it will be for grade 3, grade 5, and grade 8. Right. So I think then we are also coming up with, I think, holistic progress report cards, which is a very, very important aspect of new education policy, which I'm going to touch upon today, right? Redesigning the report cards where the child has to do self-assessment, peer assessment, and the teacher assessment. It's a very, very important point of the new education policy. And I think standard setting and accreditation, right? So we'll be also talking about that, how schools, they to maintain the quality, if we are talking about so many things. So how does, I think the government is going to prepare, the schools, so that the schools maintain a quality. So there'll be a standard setting and accreditation. Okay. So please keep this all things in mind. So curriculum and pedagogical recommendations. Skill-based education is a very, very important point in NEP, which we discussed yesterday also, right? That is, first of all, 10 bagless days is compulsory, right? Then we'll have computational skills compulsorily, and coding from middle stage, that is middle school, right? That is going to come in a big way now. Then I think skill-based, a lot of new additions have been done in grade 10th. AI, ICT will be there in the classrooms, regular on a very big basis. So how skill-based is, what is skill-based? Basically, helping children understand something through doing, right? And the good teachers were always doing that, which was going to help in minimization of the rote-based learning. So yesterday we discussed these. I'm not going to delve into deeper that what was the previous structure and what is the present structure. So we have foundational stage, preparatory stage, middle stage, and the secondary stage, right? So I think yesterday we discussed all these things. So a very important thing now, right now, is NCLB, we call it, No Child Left Behind. So NCLB is what is government going to do? Get all the dropout children back to the school, economically underprivileged children back to the school. So universal access to early childhood care in addition. So children who fall behind, get left behind, right? So I think the government is going to, I think, ensure that these children come back. We all know that we are into permanent education numbers. हम सारे के सारे अपने स्कूल में ये काम कर रहे हैं. So pen number is going to be generated. So it is kind of universal education number of a child in this country, right? So this is a very positive step happening. Then apart from that, I think if we move further, these are the, I think the introduction of the national curriculum framework for foundational stage 22. This is how it looks like. And but there are 4 national NCF which are going to come in the country. 2 is already out. 1 came in 2022. 1 came in 23. And then we are also going to focus on 2 more. 1 is the teachers. 1 is for teacher framework, which is going to come out. And 1 is for the quality framework, which is also going to come out. The government is going to come out with them very, very soon. So we all should know about that also. I think, so I'll just move ahead. We've discussed all these points. I think yesterday also we discussed this, that no silos, no, I think changes, no gaps. A child can take anything as subjects in grade 11th and 12th. Emphasis on digital learning, bagless days, 10 bagless days in academic calendar, 3-language formula and the 2-language formula, right? Promotion till grade 5 of the regional language of children, and art and sports integration with subjects, competency focused education. I hope anybody who can just tell me, please, what is competency based education? Anyone? Anyone?
Madam, can I get your question once again, ma'am, please?
Ma'am, what is competency-based education? Competency-focused education. If you can just give me an example. Okay. See, there are 3 things in competency-based education. One is we need to have a knowledge, right? Then we need to have a skill, and then we need to have an aptitude. For example, okay, right now, if I tell you that, okay, I will teach you swimming in this session. So what am I going to do? I'm going to tell you that, okay, raise your left hand, raise your right hand, put your both hands up. Now do like this, right? And with your legs also do like this. Is it possible for you to learn swimming?
No.
So I'm giving you knowledge, ma'am. Still you can't learn swimming?
No, ma'am.
No, you
No.
can't learn swimming, right? Why you can't learn swimming? Because I have just given you the knowledge. Now you need to have skill and
Skills.
aptitude for swimming. And that's what competency-based education is all about, that you need to have, I think apart from
It should be there.
imparting knowledge, now what we need is that now we need to give them skill to excel in it. And the children will automatically, once we give them skill, they will automatically have an aptitude for learning it, right? So this is a new thing, right? I think a lot of work is going on for this. Then now we need to see our school calendars and plan pedagogical calendars. Pehle to hum khali annual planners banate the, right? Now I think we need to make our pedagogical calendars also. Mujhe kab kya karna hai. So pedagogy has to be based on certain pillars. So what are those pillars? Those pillars are promoting peer tutoring as voluntary and joyful activity, art, sports, and storytelling, integrated pedagogy and technology enabled pedagogy, interactive teaching with reduced dependency on textbooks learning, questions from students will be promoted, focus on critical thinking, discussion and analysis based teaching and learning methods for holistic education, focus on experiential inquiry and discovery based teaching learning methods. So this is going to be the pedagogy. Pedagogy means the way we are going to teach. That is called the pedagogy. So please keep this in mind, that this is what we are going to learn, right? We have to change ourselves, right? And come up to the level of what, and I think we are expected to do. We have to have interactive classes. We have to have integration in the classrooms. We have to keep that in mind. Then I think we have to, in a focused way in our lesson plans, include, like, for example, what we do is we have basically, we make a teacher diary, right? And we write our notes in it. But I think now we need to also focus on assessments equally, right? We were only writing in the diary, how am I going to do this? And I will be doing this activity and I'll be doing this activity. But I think now we also need to include in our the teacher's diary or the planning, wherever we do the planning, however we do the planning, put up the planning, where we need to also include assessments, formative and summative both. We discussed yesterday about what is formative assessment and what is summative assessment. Okay, then encouraging 21st century learners in the classroom. So what we need to develop in the learners and what are the 21st century skills in the classroom? It is collaboration, scientific temper, problem solving, creativity, communication, digital literacy, ethics, social responsibility, health and fitness, and critical thinking. Now there is a lot of work being done on health and fitness, that is the social, health and well-being. So I think it is very, very important. And I think ethics is all about your value system. What exactly is your value system, and especially when nobody's looking at you. So I think these are the 21st century skills, which I think a government is also trying to, I think inculcate in children. A lot of work is going on through the capacity building programs like this. We need to inculcate these skills in our children, right? So then I think introduction of new subjects is what is happening, is going to happen very soon. Artificial intelligence, design thinking, data science, machine learning, I think organic living, holistic health. Now, these are the, I think, the contemporary subjects which will be included right after NEP 2020 in our schools, right? So this is a very big step, actually, if you look at it. Next, we have the mathematics and computational thinking, which is uh, a very big focus of NEP is on that. So increased emphasis throughout the school, starting from the foundational stage where everybody is talking about developing of numeracy skills, right? Then use of variety, innovative method, including the regular use of puzzles and games and making mathematics more enjoyable. And introduction of activities involving coding in middle stage. Now, from grade 6 to 8, coding is going to come I think in a lot of CBSE schools. So please keep that in mind. Then I think we also need to vocational vocational, I think integrating vocational education at all levels, right? Internship opportunities and vocational subjects will be available for our students from grade 6th till grade 12th. Every student can take a fun course during 6 to 8 that gives a survey and hands-on experience of sampling of important vocational crafts such as carpentry, electric work, periodic exposure to activities outside the school, and vocational courses to be offered through open and distance learning and online, both online and offline modes. So now these are few very, very important things which are happening in, which will soon be implemented. Now, another very important thing this time the government has decided it. For example, in schools, we have started doing Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. So all the states are integrated with another state, right? And for example, Gurgaon, I'm in Gurgaon, so we are integrated with Manipur. So we have to learn, the children of our school, or rather Gurgaon school, they have to learn about the knowledge of one state of theirs. And why this has been done? Because at the end of the day, NEP says that we need to be rooted to our, I think, to our culture, to our traditions, right? And that is the reason knowledge of India is going to be, is also a very big aspect of new education policy. Knowledge from ancient India and its contribution to modern India and its successes and challenges, India's future aspirations with regard to education, India's knowledge system, right? Tribal, ethno-medicinal practices, forest management. Engaging course is going to come up on Indian knowledge systems in secondary school as an elective subject. It has not come in as yet, but we will. Competitions in various schools for learning various topics. CBSA started heritage quiz. Now it has also started storytelling competitions. So there are a lot of reading competitions. So a lot of competitions have already been started. Focus is on indigenous games too now. Video documentaries on inspirational luminaries of India. Different students will be going to different states for cultural exchange programs. Constitutional values to be developed in students, and knowledge of critical issues facing local communities, states, and country and the world. Now, children should know that there is we are struggling with global warming, not just for the sake of it, but basically they also need to do something about it. We have to take their inputs about it. So these are few things which have increased. I told you about health education. So I think training in health education, mental health and well-being. I can't tell you that how much we are being trained as trainers of CBSE on health education. Personal and public hygiene, which I think we all learned from COVID, detrimental and damaging effects of alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. So these all will be taken in a very, very big way with the CBSE. I think, and then we come to most important part, transforming the culture of assessment. As I told you, in the holistic progress card, there'll be self-assessment, peer assessment, and teacher assessment. So continuous tracking of learning outcomes of each child, assessment to focus on core concepts, high order and foundational skills. Mode is going to be very, very flexible. Sorry. Okay, I think move ahead. So we are talking about two boards. Everybody's talking about that. So I think examinations in grade 1 to 8, as I told you, key stage assessments will be not reading about them. Census assessments as key stage in grade 3, 5, and 8, which is a SUFFLE program. Assessment of core concepts of knowledge and high order thinking skills. Testing to focus on achievements of essential learning outcomes and develop and continuous monitoring and improvement of the school system. Now, I think there will be a continuous system of monitoring what the schools are doing in their classroom. So I think we need to be more aware about them. Okay, so I wanted to, I think, speak to you about this, that this is a small quiz actually. I thought, okay, I'll do it at the end basically. Now, I spoke about the redesigning of the report cards to assess the holistic development, right? So it is a holistic progress report card, which is going to come very soon. Rather, it has come. A lot of training is going on in this respect. So progress of the child in inquiry-based learning, quiz, role play, group portfolio have to be maintained of the child. Progress in cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domains is also a very big step. Interactive questionnaires for parents, teachers, and students, teacher assessment, self-assessment, and peer assessment. So this is just a very small glimpse of the holistic report card, HPC we call it, holistic progress report card. So this is just a very small glimpse of that, and then I think very important, again, another important aspect is improvement of standards of the teachers, right? Teachers have to take 50 hours of CPD. I discussed this yesterday also, right? And so 25 hours is compulsory with CBSE and 25 hours is compulsory with any organization which can give you a certificate, right? So a lot of workshops of the school leaders and the principals is on. 21st century teaching, learning, and assessment will be at the heart of all the teacher training programs. There'll also be training for gifted children for inclusivity and equity, right? So I think this is again a very, very important aspect of NEP. Then I think working for socio-economically disadvantaged children, I think disability children, socio-cultural identities, socio-economic condition children is again an important aspect. I think, and next is SQAFAAF, that is School Quality Assessment and Accreditation Framework, which ensures that all schools follow certain minimal professional and quality standards. Yesterday, we were discussing that this is the affiliation which has to be renewed, is becoming very, very strict now, very, very focused now. And it is clearly mentioned in NEP 2020. So setting up state school authorities, then I think this is a public and private schools will be assessed and accredited on common minimum criteria, because we have public schools galore in every corner of the country. The public schools are coming. So I think this is very, very important point which is coming here. Now, this is just an overview I wanted to give you, that what are the recommendations of NEP 2020. The recommendations of NEP 2020 are competency-based test teaching, encouraging 21st century skills, no silos between scholastic and co-scholastic areas, transforming assessment for student development, holistic progress card, health education. You can take a picture of this slide. Digital literacy, promotion of multilingual teaching, development of scientific temper, values and ethics, introduction of contemporary subjects like AI, data science, design thinking, mathematical and computational thinking, experiential learning, continuous professional development of teachers, inclusive practices so that children with special needs can also be included, effective governance and focused governance also, increased focus on foundational literacy and numeracy, new pedagogical structure, 5+3+3+4, vocational education, and knowing our country. So I think these are very, very important aspects. Okay, so I'll stop here and I will ask you if anybody has any thoughts or any points which they would like to share, please. Anyone, please, would like to share anything
Madam,
which you...
Good evening.
Yes, ma'am. Nisha, ma'am.
I have a doubt, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
In the holistic progress card, for the grade 1, 2, how do we do the peer assessment?
Ma'am,
Or
generally, it is like, you can frame very basic questions, right? Who's your favorite friend, right? You can tell children to draw it also, right? So
okay,
when they say that peer assessment, it does not mean that per se peer assessment, right? So who's your friend?
right.
Why do you like him? So the children
Yeah.
are in grade 1 and 2. Obviously, children cannot write in such details, right? But like they will be, and peer assessment
The
also can be, ma'am.
emotional
Sorry.
aspect of the child can be assessed through peer assessment.
Yes, ma'am. So I
I
think,
think this HPC for class 1 and 2, it's a observation of teacher and they will write.
ma'am, the teachers will write, and there'll be also chances for children to just draw a few things. The teachers
Yeah,
can give a
that is the
pointers.
observation day
Yes,
to
because
day.
they grade 1.
Yeah, what the teachers
So,
are
I
giving
think,
the and how they
yes,
are.
who's your favorite friend? So why don't you draw? What do you like about him? Even children talking about it. A lot of times in these grades, ma'am, the children speak up and the teachers also, right? There are a lot of schools where generally in these classes, the children speak up, the teachers ask questions, right? And the teacher write observation, the teacher writes the observation, and that's how the peer assessment can be done.
Right.
Okay,
Moreover,
okay.
ma'am,
Right, Nisha,
excuse
ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so
huh,
much.
Right.
Ma'am, is this will be a soft copy or this will be like taken as a hard copy? Because since it is a holistic report,
So it will
so
be
how
hard
we are
copy.
going to,
Hard
Hard
copy,
copy.
right? But
any
there'll be a
idea,
lot of
ma'am,
trainings
this is
done,
of how
sir.
many
Ye
pages?
ऐसे
Any idea?
ये ऐसे नहीं, I have not seen that, sir. As of now, I have not attended a training on the holistic progress card, so I will not give you any
Right.
information which
Okay.
I
I
have,
am not
I
aware
have
of,
that. I can
right?
share it in the
So
group also.
yes, ma'am, please do that, ma'am.
Okay,
I
so
will
this will be
definitely
taken
share it
as a
in the
hard
group.
copy,
I
ma'am.
have. Yeah.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. Ma'am, I am framing HPC for my school. So, minimum 28 to 30 pages are coming. So, don't you think it will be a pressure on everyone suddenly? Because till now, we are giving them digitized way of, one page
Kiran ma'am,
report
Or
shall I
card.
tell
two-page
you
That is
one
the
maximum,
thing?
ma'am.
report
Yeah.
card.
Kiran ma'am,
Hmm.
shall I tell you one thing that
Yes.
in junior grades, generally formative assessments, you have no formal assessments, right? Observation is the key for assessments in the junior grades and has always been, right? And you believe you me
Excuse me,
that
ma'am. May I?
lot of things which you are going to fill up, you must be observing them right now also. So it is not that
Yes.
suddenly there'll be something coming on to you. You will be trained, your school will be trained for it. Somebody will be going for the trainings, or somebody will come for your school for the trainings, or you can attend these kind of online trainings also, right? All the resource person, like people like us, are also getting trained in holistic progress card and what are the intricacies of the HPC. So and moreover, it will be, it's like it is not about all about writing. There'll be a lot of other things which are involved in it.
Rekha ji, I would like to add
Agree,
something
ma'am.
over here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Skillveda is also planning to do HPC and Teachers Olympiad for the schools. We are already doing this. We are creating our own ERP software for all these things.
So please, all of you can attend that, right?
Ma'am,
Because I
may
have
I? Good
Yeah,
evening,
Archana
ma'am.
ji. Yeah, Archana ji,
yes,
please.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, one of my one of my fellow friends asking something about this. कि holistic will be a big burden on the teachers. Yes, it is. It will be, and moreover, I think, how can we forget? Like a few years before, we have undergone with the CCE system. If you remember, continuous evaluation.
Yes,
On
ma'am.
in that also, we have prepared a lot of checklists for the junior classes. If anybody remember that, and we were just evaluating the children on that checklist. If any one of the teacher remember
Agree,
that
ma'am.
point. Like
It is exactly like CCS pattern.
we prepared that checklist through day and night, and I still remember I was the only one in my school who has attended the workshop, and I learned a lot during that. And we prepared the so many big checklists for each and every subject, and the teachers are copying that in the register. First, they were noting down in the register. Each and every child has been continuously evaluated. So I think it is the similar one which we are going to do in the holistic progressive card. May am I correct, ma'am? Or something else is there in
Yes,
that?
ma'am. Actually, it is almost. But I personally feel that in the juniors classes, generally, a lot of schools are already maintaining anecdotal registers, right?
Yeah,
We
ma'am,
in
we
our
are
school we call
maintaining.
them
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
we
anecdotal
are
registers.
maintaining.
So anecdotal
We are maintaining.
register is quite
Yeah.
Only
holistic.
the
Huh.
It is quite
difference,
holistic to
yeah.
provide
Ma'am,
all
we
the
are
information
maintaining it
for the
since
holistic
the
progress.
middle classes also. We are
Exactly.
I
giving it to
am
the next teacher. We are giving it to the next teacher. Whatever the child has done, they on
So I
that
not
don't
day
worried
think
we are
about
noting
the
down it.
teacher's aspect. I'm
there is
worried about
nothing to worry
the
about, ma'am.
self-assessment of
Right?
the child
Ma'am,
Yeah.
self-assessment again. See,
and the
you cannot again
parents'
expect a child
feedback.
of grade 1 and 2 to do self-assessment per se, right? So it is basically, that okay, how do you feel good about yourself? So it is basically through questions you're going to take out this inference. Inference is going to be taken through a lot of observations and asking listening skills and speaking skills of children.
Hmm.
So it is basically an observation which is going to be shared. Obviously, a child cannot write in grade 1 and 2, right?
But
I can
ma'am,
assure you that
again,
eighth
I'll
grade
say
children, eighth grade
like
children
we
also
have
cannot
introduced
write
the regional
self-assessment.
language. The child will be able to speak a few things about his peer group. Definitely, regional language
Ma'am,
का क्या
again,
फायदा
I'm
हुआ अगर
sure
हमने
when
बच्चों
we
को
say
peer
regional language is
assessment नहीं
allowed,
सिखाए तो
the child will
it
say
is
in the
clearly
regional.
allowed. हाँ, the child will
Yes,
speak
yes,
in
ma'am.
Punjabi.
100%.
He or she may can speak in
100%.
Punjabi or Hindi, and
100%.
definitely they can assess the peer group. Definitely, a
Right.
teacher has to be
Okay. So, ma'am,
helpful.
I think
That's
Skillveda
the
is going
only
to do
point.
a workshop on it. So we will take it up later, ma'am. Right?
Rekha ma'am,
Yeah.
I have a doubt.
Ma'am, Seema ma'am, if it
I
is
have a
about
doubt.
HPC, then we will have a separate
No,
workshop.
not HPC. I'm
Yes.
very much clear with the HPC. And just now I share all the hard copy of HPC. My concern is pedagogy calendar.
हाँ जी, मैम.
थोड़ा सा उस पे फोकस कीजिए कि वो उसमें क्या होना चाहिए. It is
मैम,
new
आप
for
मुझे
me.
बताइए, pedagogy is the way of teaching, right?
Hmm.
So probably a school can have visits, right? Visits are an integral part of this thing.
Hmm.
Right? So when we will have educational trips for children, when we will have visits for children, we will have some workshops for children. Okay, we will have an annual day is an integral part of the school. It is a pedagogy, right? So I think having a storytelling festival in the school or having a annual athletic meet in the school. So I think the annual calendar
So already we are doing in a
is
monthly
kind of
calendar.
a pedagogical calendar.
पूरे
Schools
साल
are
के
already
लिए जो
doing.
हम
Yes, ma'am.
कैलेंडर पूरे साल के लिए जो कैलेंडर बनाते हैं उसमें हर महीने के इवेंट्स हम उसमें डाल देते हैं.
Exactly, ma'am.
तो ये पेरेंट्स के पास चला जाता है.
Exactly,
और
ma'am.
हर महीने 30 या 1 तारीख को हम लोग उनको रिमाइंडर दे देते हैं. जस्ट चेक इट एंड व्हाट सपोज
Exactly.
टू बी
It
सेंट
is like this only, ma'am.
आइटम्स विद द
Yes, ma'am.
कुछ कुछ
It is,
सामान
it
हम
is,
लोग को
it is,
पेरेंट्स
it
से
is the
मंगाना
same,
होता
ma'am.
है तो वो
It is
रिमाइंडर
the
चला
same.
जाता
It
है.
is the same.
दैट इज
So,
सेम
yes, ma'am.
उट्स अ
All
टर्म
the
इज
all the
डिफरेंट.
schools are right now also maintaining it, ma'am. Like in our school, we do monthly planner. Monthly planner is every month before, first, like at the end of the week,
No,
we
we
send them the
give the
next
for
month's
whole
monthly
year.
planner.
We give for
Yeah.
entire
अच्छा, we
year.
do it month wise because हमारे यहाँ पे हरियाणा में अचानक से बहुत सारी छुट्टियां आ जाती हैं. So what we
हाँ,
do is then
मुंबई में
we
आती है
plan
ना,
it
मेरे
accordingly,
स्कूल में फर्स्ट
right?
फ्लोर
If we
पे
get to
पानी
know.
भर जाता है तो 4 दिन की छुट्टी वैसे ही हो जाती है.
That's what I'm
तुम्हें
saying,
आता
ma'am.
ही
So
आता है.
it is,
हाँ
it is the
मैम.
way the schools is
To
going to
share
plan it.
something here, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I would like to share something here regarding the pedagogical calendar.
Yes, ma'am.
In our schools, group of schools where I am leading the department. So here we have something called curriculum workshop, which we conduct once fortnightly for the teachers, department teachers, as to what new ideas, strategies, and
That can be
skills.
part of your pedagogical
Yes,
calendar.
yes.
Yes.
Not only for students, even for teachers, we do conduct. It is a part of our calendar.
That's what I'm saying, ma'am. So
Great.
pedagogical calendar, I think, and you need not share it with parents also. I think pedagogical calendar is for the teachers,
Yeah,
that how
it's
you are
very
going to
important.
teach, right? Your visits, your trips, your educational trips, your anything, heritage, you're going to have a quiz, you're going to have a mathematical a special assembly on mathematics day, and every school is already doing that, right? So probably now doing it in a more focused way. That's it. Right. So shall we
Thank
move
you,
ahead,
ma'am.
please?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, please,
Right.
Rekha ji. Yeah.
Ma'am, yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have one doubt. I have one doubt,
Uh,
ma'am.
Hanji, ma'am.
Ma'am, see, you're saying 25 hours, so it starts from the academic year, like from June
Yes, ma'am.
to
100%
March,
from
or
academic year to academic year.
academic.
March,
So
April
June
to
to March.
March. April to March.
In 1 year, March to
Oh,
March, right? March to April, rather. So I think in 1 year, you have to have 50 hours of CPT.
so April, once it is done, then next year it will start from, again, it will reset from
Yes.
April.
You again have to do it. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
thank you, ma'am.
Right. Okay, right. So we'll just move on. And the next one is, the learner's profile. Now, I think we need to, help children to understand that they need to be reflective. They need to be aware of themselves. There is a lot of work going on emotional intelligence, right, of students. There is a wonderful workshop called Happy Classrooms, where we say that nowadays it is not about IQ anymore. It is all about EQ, right? If children have good EQ, that is emotional intelligence, right? And so they will automatically have, IQ. So, and, I think EQ can be developed a lot of times like IQ. So I think a lot of focus is happening on children being aware of themselves and, I think getting to know themselves, making them caring and compassionate, socially responsible, confident, risk taker to a certain extent, that, what I should do. The child should know, okay, this is what I can do and this is what I cannot do. Open-minded communicator, collaborator, problem solver, creative thinker, innovator, and a balanced person. That can only help come when a lot of workshops are to be done with children also on social health, emotional, and well-being. So health and wellness. So basically, a lot of workshops should be done with children in this aspect. So then only we'll be able to have a good learner, basically. So that's very, very important. Okay, so we'll move ahead. So this is basically, some of the 21st, we've already discussed this, but this is basically some of the life skills. Basically, I want to tell you that these are the material which the CBSE has, right? And we can also get an access to them. These are all available very easily. I'll just go back to the slide, please. Yeah. So there is a value-based value education kit, advocacy for integration of values into the curriculum, life skill education. There are life skill manuals, a lot of manuals available, right? A lot of adolescents, peer educators, leadership program, life skills program going on for children, health and physical education. I think health manuals, mental health and well-being manuals is being developed. Subjects like, again, digital literacy is going to happen. So we will have a lot of subjects like computer applications. I'll show you some of the samples of all these manuals which are available with the CBSE. So introduction of, I told you, we've already discussed this. So this is like a recap of what we have done till now. So there is an FLN toolkit which is available. There's a foundational reading material available, e-learning material available for students, dedicated website for teachers. Aryabhat Ganit challenge is done every year in schools for development of mathematical and computational thinking, design thinking. So I'm sure the schools are already doing Aryabhat Ganit challenge. It is an amazing, I think, exam. And I think all the schools should opt for it and make their children do this amazing exam. Then I think competency-focused education, development of scientific temper. There are a lot of resource material available on gender sensitivity of CBSE. There are a lot of, I think, uh, uh, when we see the sample papers, we realize that how we have to introduce, and the case-based questions, I think, need to be introduced from junior classes. We need not wait for grade 9th and grade 10th to have the case-based questions now. We need to have starting then from grade 5 or grade 6. Obviously, the level has to be class specific, but I think MCQs and, very simple, explaining the children assertion and reasoning in a very simplified way. So what all is happening. So I think these are happening for good. And like, for example, what we have done is that we generally have around 2-3 marks question of a value-based question in every question paper, whether it is a UT exam or a term exam. So we generally have that, so that, the children get into the habit of thinking and writing, not just, I think writing whatever they have learned in the classrooms. So that is one thing you should start doing. So there are a lot of initiatives which have been taken by CBSE, curricular I think interventions, pedagogical interventions, student enrichment activities, development of resource material, and assessment reforms, which have been taken by the CBSE. I'll give you a glimpse of some here only. Now, I think the adoption of learning outcome-based learning. So there are a lot of circulars which are available. So I think I've mentioned some of the circulars here also. So probably, you can just see and go through these circulars. Enable teachers to direct their teaching learning, ensure enabling conditions for children, enable parents to monitor the progress of their wards, ensure assessment and learning. So CBSE has specified with a lot of circulars they have come up with. Then very important thing, I wanted to show all of you that, these are the teacher energized resource material for science and mathematics. These are grade wise resource material for grade 8, for grade 9, for grade 10th. So I think these are all available online. So please go through them. They provide the teachers with assignments and strategies to do in their classrooms, right? This is for science and mathematics. So so please go through them and I think use them in your classroom. This will solve a lot of issues, that how do I need to assess children, what all kind of activities I need to do, what all kind of strategies I need to have it in my classroom. Then I think teachers research for achieving learning outcomes from 1 to 10. It is a very amazing document for making your lesson plans. Your learning outcomes are very clearly written there, grade wise, chapter wise, according to the NCERT books. So this is a wonderful document and a teacher resource. So please go through it. I'll just wanted to give you a little glimpse in it. Then we have, I think induction of 2-level courses, literature and main course book. We all know that. I think in Sanskrit, and so there is a planning of 2-level courses in English and Sanskrit also, but it has not come in, as in the schools are not aware about it. So probably they're going to tell us after a few this thing. Now, catering to diverse learners. So 2-level of mathematics, which we already know, the paper is already there in grade 10th, right? One is basic and one is standard. So this is again also keeping in mind the new education policy, that children are not at all levels, and somebody who does not want to have mathematics from the next grade, the child can take the basic level, right, instead of taking the standard level. So there are 2 levels of mathematics already in grade 10th exam. So this is again a very big step, right? Then we are having a lot of debate on 2 exams, board exams in grade 10. That is still a debate. Nothing has come in black and white from the CBSE, adding new dimensions to education. So I think social empowerment work, health and physical education, art integrated learning, and the manuals are available for all of this. So I would request you all that please go through these manuals, right? There is a life skill manual also of CBSE, right? And life skill is already a part. We have all done life skill classes in our schools. So thinking skills, development of thinking skills, emotional skills, entrepreneur skills, right? Entrepreneurship is a skill course also, right? In the grade 10th, entrepreneurship it is called. So I think a lot of work is happening. So these are some of the manuals which I wanted to share with all of you for capacity building of all stakeholders. These are handbooks available for 21st century skills, on life skills, and mental health and well-being. So these everybody can access, right? I think all the principles, if there are in this workshop, please have these manuals in your libraries so that the teachers can refer to them, right? And these are very, very helpful. For example, if you have moral classes or life skill classes, so you can use these manuals to plan activities. There are activities mentioned in these manuals. That is the best part of these manuals. Then we also going to talk about art integration. There are a lot of manuals on art integration also. Please keep that in mind. Art integration is mandatory mandatory subject for classes 1 to grade 12, minimum 2 periods per week, right? Apart from music, dance, visual arts, create theater for the students of grade 6 to 8 should, and culinary art is also included for children. Please keep this in mind. And integration of art is a pedagogical tool. So art integration is to be done by all the classes, all the schools now. So then I think next we move on to experiential learning. Everybody's talking about experiential learning. I think good teachers were always doing it. So robotics is an experiential learning, a very fantastic example of experiential learning. AI developing, children developing something in the school is like we had an exhibition. So our school children developed a virtual map. Nothing could be a better example of experiential learning. So a lot of work is going on in experiential learning, and there are pedagogical interventions not only for the teachers, but also for principals, right? There is a wonderful organized CBSE ka initiative hai. There is a Story Weaver app, right? They have tied up with organization called Pratham, and they have come up with a Story Weaver app. Every teacher till grade 8 has a lot of stories on science and mathematics and language available with audio, visuals, pre-activities and post-activities, right? So please login ID, create a login ID, and you have an access to the resources, right? So art integrated project work is compulsory. Uske bina to hum apna admit card hi nahi nikal sakte grade 9th and 10th ka. We all have to fill in the data of art integration. So art integration, please do it in a focused way. You can give it as holiday homework to the children right now. Now, these are some of the resources developed by the CBSE. It's a comic book on, there is experiential learning manual on question, mathematical literacy and practice for students. These are all manuals of CBSE. Once you go to the CBSE website, you will be able to see these manuals there. Then we have art integration manual, handbook of joyful learning, reading literacy, joyful teaching and learning of mathematics. Again, these are amazing manuals available. So there are 45 manuals and handbooks which has been released in the last 3 years. So I think you should have all of them in your library. A lot of बहुत सारे schools को लगता है अब हम क्या करें क्या activities करें. So a lot of activities with pre-activity, post-activity integrated with your books is available in all these manuals. So please go through these manuals. They will be really helpful. I think everybody knows about the Diksha app, right? Swayam, Nishtha, Diksha. These are amazing apps. So please read more about them, find out more about them. Tell your teachers that they can access them from the Play Store, right? So a lot of work is going on for creating online resource materials for the teachers. So this is one aspect of it. Then I think development of lesson plans for competency-based pedagogy. A lot of work is going on. Even British Council has a lot of English, science and math lesson plans. So you can access it. British Council has developed this. So it will really help students and the teachers. Then strengthening of assessment and examinations, as I told you. Adopting NCERT learning outcomes, we have to include, right? By 2019-20, it was said that 25 MCQs, class 10th and 12th, we all know it is already 20% MCQs, case-based studies 20%, and remaining 70% paper is there. Academic session might be divided, we have already all divided it into 2 terms. Term 1 MCQs 90 minutes. Now this is all which might be coming out, right? Though we are behind the timeline, right? Much behind the timeline, but I'm sure that sooner or later, these all things would come. Like source-based has already come in, like objective type has already come in, MCQ has already come in. So few things have already come in and few things will be coming very soon, right? So I think, so these are some of the practices which sooner or later we have to start following. Now, these are some of the circular numbers. You can take a picture, please, all of you. This will also help you to understand how to prepare more competency-based questions for grade 10th and grade 12th board examinations. These are the circulars which are available. So please go through these circulars, and a lot of material is available on CBSE academics. Please go through them. Guidelines are available that how to make progressive competency-based questions. So you can have an access to all these, read these circulars. They will really, really help you to get into and, help the teachers also, right? So a lot of resources is being developed, workbooks for students, workbook for teachers, learning frameworks, sample question papers. We all know CBSE releases sample question papers, right, for teachers of 10th and grade 12th, right? So a lot of, I think, there's a storytelling program which you can access of CBSE, and then you get a certificate from CBSE. So you have to read about it, and then you have to answer few questions. So there are a lot of experience. You will get a certificate for experiential learning and storytelling. Encourage your teachers to access these courses online. They can do it online, and it just takes an hour or two, not even much. So now these are the learning frameworks on social science, English, and mathematics, right? These includes competency-based questions, samples of pedagogical processes, blueprints, and assessment items and rubrics for grade 9th and grade 10th. So please, these are all available at cbseacademic.nic, right? So please go through them, see them. Again, these are some of the more learning framework for grade 11th and 12th. Economics, chemistry, BST, computer science, biology. Then again, I will show you some more learning frameworks. You can click a picture, please. These are for physics, English, geography, history, Hindi, and mathematics. So these are all available, imagine, free of cost for all the teachers. Handbooks have been developed on assessment and evaluation, essential concepts, then guidelines and test development reviews. A lot of handbooks have been developed, and everything can be accessed. I told you, 45 handbooks are there and manuals are there, right, from CBSE. CBSE also is going to start a lot of work on video series on assessment and evaluation for teachers, that how to do evaluation and assessment for children. Then I think competency focused practice. Now these are question banks are available, item banks are available for all these grades for 6th to 10th. So please access these resources. A lot of time the teachers do not know, the principals do not know about these resources available with us. So these are, if you see this, I'll just go back to this slide again. I don't know. There's something. Yes. Okay, so these are the resources developed, practice book for students. Then I'll show you some more resources, competency focused practice questions for students, right, in social science for grade 10th. Then we have for grade 12th also, competency focused practice questions. So these are the manuals. I'm just giving you a glimpse of these manuals for your reference. Now, a lot of people ask me what kind of activities we can do. So you can do science exhibition. You can participate in science exhibition of CBSE. Games and sports, which happens in clusters and zonal and national levels. Heritage India quiz, Aryabhat Ganit challenge. Expression series is something which CBSE has started. Reading challenge. There are a lot of programs like Fit India, Swachhata Pakhwada, storytelling competitions by Government of India also, budding authors, science challenge, mission lifestyle for environment. So I think encourage your children. The circulars come regularly. So I think you need to have a person who's only going to read the circulars, and the children can participate in a lot of, workshops. So we have to create an enabling environment, in CBSE schools, where we need to focus on content, pedagogy, capacity building, and assessment. Tell your teachers to download Diksha app. It is amazing. A lot of teacher resources are available on the Diksha app for teachers. But a lot of teachers do not know about it. That's the problem in our country, right? Now, how we can, Seema ma'am was asking me, ma'am, pedagogical calendar. So how can we ensure? So we have to have pedagogical plans. We have to have we can have posters of compact learning outcomes. These manuals can be kept in the staff room. These manuals can be kept in the library, right? So I think you can, in-house sessions can be done on these manuals, where you can arrange discussion amongst your teachers about these manuals, ma'am. and so that the teachers get an exposure about all these things. So that is very important. Now, Safal, you can see this, please, and watch this video on Safal. You can click a picture. Now, this is available on the micro website of CBSE. So you can watch this. And so Safal is again for grade 3, 5, and 8. And the 3 areas in which the children are tested is language, mathematics, EVS, and science. Okay. And paper is amazing, out of the word. So please, I think, look into it in the previous slide. I think so you will get a very, very good idea. Now, what is I think NEP trying to do? NEP is trying to nudge us towards competency-focused learning, identifying areas of academic intervention, measuring of effectiveness for school system, and public disclose school quality information for accountability. Now, this is a long-term goal. We have a lot to do, a lot of work to be done still on it. And I think holistic progress card, you can please see this, share it with your teacher to get an idea of what is HPC. So this is an HPC portal. So you can also go through it and check it. And, so read more about HPC now, right? And this is the micro website of HPC. You can go through it. I think, again, somebody was asking me how well HPC will be. It will be a combination of child's own expression of self and the teacher assessment. It presents a picture of students' progress and provides evidence. And it acts as a baseline level for each student from beginning of any new session. So the teachers can give it to the next grade teacher, and the new teacher does not have to start from a scratch, right? She will have a fair idea about how the children are. What are the benefits of the HPC? Tracking child's progress will help teachers plan and alter the classroom activities, make parents an integral part of the child's classroom, and helps to map the status of each child in the classroom. So what are the assessment strategies? We can have feedback from the parents, discussion with children, creating a portfolio, observation. Then I think a lot of work also has been done for the principals. What is the role of the principal? So I think logistics support ke alawa, mentoring and guidance. So if you get a chance to attend a workshop on HPC, please do that. I think everybody needs to do that. And so that we get a more idea of what is it all about. SQAA, School Quality Assessment and Assurance. I will not go greater into this, but I think there is a document available with the CBSE, right? And where it is very clearly available that what is the quality framework, the NEP demands from this thing. Go through the SARAS website, which will tell us about SQAA more, right? So I'm just here to felicitate, so I think, so please go through it, Saras will give you, again, it is a micro website, which I have mentioned here. So please go through it. If a lot of principals and senior coordinators and everybody is attending this workshop today. So SQQ has a lot of domains. It is going to focus on infrastructure, human resources, inclusive practices, leadership, beneficiary satisfaction, curriculum, pedagogy, and assessment. Then I think, why do we need an SQAA framework? To keep a watch, to reassure the stakeholders that we are all going to work for continual improvement, take up adherence.
Yeah, Gayatri,
to the quality standards
wants
of,
to
I think, NEP
ask
2020.
something. Gayatri ji, you want to ask something? And if anybody has any question, please.
I think, ma'am, I'll just end it so that we can have the questions and have a discussion at the end.
Yeah,
right?
because
So I
she
think,
was saying something. That's why I thought
okay.
she's, yeah.
Gayatri, ma'am, you want to say something, please?
Chale, fine, you continue. Not a problem.
Okay. Right. And okay. Now, what are the steps to implement? So I think how you can implement this NEP 2020. Please assess and review your current practices. Don't be in a hurry to change everything in the school. NEP aa gaya hai, ab mujhe sab kuch change karna hai. There are a lot of good things which are already happening in the school. So don't be in a hurry to change completely your school, whatever your school is doing. A lot of good practices, a lot of schools are following. So we need to focus on them rather than jumping onto something, which is not going to be good for all of us. So please keep that in mind. Then I think we need to encourage experiential learning, focus on skill-based education, collaborate with other schools. There will be nodal centers which will be made, inbuilt continuous practices and assessment, right? So I think we all need to focus on that, and then involve parents and community, monitor and evaluate progress as regular and make improvement plans. So now these are the NCF. Now NCF is what? It is National Curriculum Framework for Foundational and SE 2022 and 2023, right? So these have already come out. I think Twinkle ma'am was saying that probably there's a workshop which they've already aligned for NCF. So please attend that workshop.
Next week we are keeping a same session for NCF, 4-hour session for NCF.
Teachers have a very, very important role, right? In inculcating 21st century skills in children. Education has to be more flexible and inclusive. Please keep that in mind. Do experiential learning in your classroom, support vocational education, right? Create interest and capacity building in your classroom for your children also, right? Make the children lifelong learners. That's very, very important for all of us, right? So I think from my side, we are going to end here and take up anything. I would just like to tell you a few things, what a teacher needs to be, right? In focus of, we all know that we are lifelong learners. So the first step you have done today, right, that you are attending this workshop, that means you are a learner in yourself. That is what you have to continue doing, right? Learning about new things. And as teachers also, our children are 21st century children. अगर ये 21st century के हैं तो teachers को तो आप लोगों को पता है कि 22nd century का बनना पड़ेगा, right? So we all have to be 22nd century teachers to make the learner of 21st century learn. And we've always been ahead of them, right? You have to be effective communicator and a good listener, empathetic. Please step into their shoes. It's a bad word for them nowadays. Exposure is too much, right? Which the children are not able to handle. Health and social well-being is a very, very important aspect of the learner today, right? And we have to be collaborator. If you know some good practices, please share them on a platform like this, and we need to be responsive and adaptive to the changes which are happening. Otherwise, हम लोग redundant हो जाएंगे नोकिया के फोन की तरह जो अब यूज नहीं होता है, right? So if you have to bring in change, right, in your teaching, then we need to be learners, communicators, collaborators, and change makers and change adapters also, right? We need to adapt to the new changes which are happening, right? So I think please learn to adapt fast in the fast changing world. Okay. And when the winds of change blow, some people build walls and other build windmills. It's a Chinese proverb. I just wanted to tell all of you and end with this, that, we don't have to build a wall, right? We have to use this energy and channelize this energy into something positive to bring a change in this country, right? And it is only the responsibility of teachers like you and me to bring this change, right? So any questions now, anything you want to share, we are open for it and we'll take it forward, please. Anyone? Is there anything which anybody wants to share, any practices they are doing in their school or anything they want to ask, right? Anyone, anything, please?
Hello, ma'am. I'm sorry. I have too many doubts, I suppose. No, the thing is you have like explained about most of the NEP, no, not most, you have explained about what are the essential inclusions we will have to make in our timetable so that everything can be, means maximum whatever possible can be incorporated into our implementation. So based on this, I would like to ask everybody here if you have already started implementing most of these things, and if there is any effective timetable which you are following. We already are following, but if there is something which I could take away from any of you, that will be really
In terms, when you say timetable, in the terms of, like the
the
proper.
weekly timetable, in which generally we have
See, we
like
have
you
started few
mentioned that
things.
2 periods of art integration, like we have the CCE periods, sorry, CCA periods,
See,
and
we first of all, I think
sports
I
and
believe in
etc.
something like that. We've
The
started
model
something
timetable,
called a
something
dear
which is
time.
most effective.
That is
Yeah.
drop everything and read, which I said yesterday also, right? So we've started something
Dear
called a
time.
dear time. All right, we call it drop
Drop
everything and read. So
everything.
everybody reads and read,
Drop everything
right?
and read,
Yes, drop everything and read. And in the junior grades, probably you can have till grade 2, you can have a circle time, right? There's an amazing lady called Jenny Mosley. Please see her videos and how to do circle time in your schools. So till grade 2, you can do circle time, which is a very, very effective way to make learners confident, because agar junior classes mein aapne unko confident bana diya, so they will become confident lifelong learners. So please check and see the work of Jenny Mosley, right? And she's done some amazing work in safe and sensitive schools and in circle time. And she develops, that feeling of being safe in children through circle time. In our school, we have circle time. I think we start when the children come for the session, at least twice in a week, we have a circle time where the children share their thoughts. There's a topic which is taken, obviously yeah, I'll just type her name, please. So she's Jenny Mosley, ma'am. Right? She's Jenny Mosley. Right? So please see her circle time. This is one very good thing about health and social well-being. Right? And I think what we have done is that we have on the days of the planning, right? Instead of everybody doing lesson planning, what we have done is that we have divided the chapters so that, for example, there are 10 teachers in English department. So, okay, we've divided the chapters equally. So you will be planning activities for this chapter and you will be planning activities for this chapter, so that there is a collaboration work and a collaborative work happening in the schools. Everybody is not reinventing the cycle again and again and again. So that really, really helps. For example, we have also created a repository. A lot of teachers come and a lot of teachers go. So we have created in a drive something called repository of, for example, Sanskrit, repository of grade wise. We have done repository, Sanskrit repository, उसमें grade 1, grade 2, grade जहाँ से हमारी third language शुरू होती है, grade 5,
grade
grade
6.
6, 7,
Right,
8,
grade
9,
6.
and 10. Right. Ma'am, so we have created a repository where the teachers share their resources. So if one teacher is leaving the school for XYZ reasons, for example, she's got a posting, I'm a 4G myself, so that repository is with the school and the new teachers can be given an access to the repository. Then please have orientation program for the new teachers also, right? Schools only do orientation programs for the parents, but I think orientation program for the new induction of the new teachers is also very, very important thing, whether they know about the terminology which you are talking here, and the in-house teachers can take that. So the in-house capacity building is also happening, and I think you also get confidence when you're speaking to 4 or 5 new teachers, right? So I think that's very, very important. And I think counseling has to be there in the classrooms. Regular counseling sessions. There is a very amazing people who do online sessions and offline sessions on stream choice. There's I think, so please have stream choice, I think from grade 8 onwards. I have figured out as an educator, 8th में अगर हम teacher बच्चों को stream choice का exposure दे दें, lot of schools do it late, right? But I think 8th class is an ideal time to give an exposure to the parents also for stream choice. Otherwise, parents हमारे यहाँ पे अभी भी PCM, PCB, PCB के पीछे भागते रहते हैं, right? So I think that exposure has to be there, and calling an expert and having counseling sessions for the parents and for children both. So please ensure that you're having a lot of counseling sessions for both parents and children in 8th grade, right? Then I think
Excuse me, ma'am.
Hanji, ma'am.
May I ask one thing? Like you said, 8th class is stream choices. So how can it be possible like the child will come to know
ma'am,
about the
we're
stream
just
from
giving an
class 8
exposure,
only? Like
giving
a
an
little bit they
exposure
have
to
the
the
idea,
parents,
है ना?
given an
ये
exposure to
stream
the
में ये
parents.
main subjects हैं, whatever it is.
I'm just giving an exposure. Obviously, it's a child will be because parents वहां से शुरू हो जाते हैं, मैंने देखा है. देखिए, आपका पेरेंट स्कूल कब छोड़ेगा? या तो 8th क्लास में छोड़ता है या फिर 8th
हाँ
10th के
नाइन
बाद
से
छोड़ता है.
they
आपका
started going to
पेरेंट
the
स्कूल नहीं
academies.
छोड़ता
हाँ yes
बिकॉज रजिस्ट्रेशन हो
yes.
चुका होता है. तो अगर आप उनको अर्ली पकड़ लेंगे ना मैम, तो आपका बहुत बारी जाना रुक जाता है. राइट, दैट्स व्हाट आई हैव रियलाइज्ड ओवर पीरियड ऑफ सो मेनी इयर्स. So I think so exposure to rather not children, rather even to parents you need to give an a stream choice exposure कि नाउ मेडिकल एंड इंजीनियरिंग के अलावा भी जिंदगी है, अलावा भी लाइफ है. So I think stream choice has to be done in grade at the end of grade 8 for the
Okay,
parents also.
okay.
So that
Okay,
that the
okay,
parents
okay.
otherwise 9th
Let's
क्लास से
see
कोचिंग में डाल देते हैं
whether it
मैम
will
बच्चों
be
को.
beneficial. Yeah.
9th क्लास से कोचिंग में डाल
Yeah,
देते हैं मैम
definitely
बच्चों
they have
को.
started going to the coaching classes
So
during the
that's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
you have to
They
tell
go.
them that there are other professions and other jobs also. So a lot of counseling needs to happen for parents in grade 8 because बच्चे तो अभी छोटे हैं, they cannot make any
Another
decision.
point, ma'am.
Yes. हाँ जी.
Another one more point which I really want to know. Like stream choice, you said stream choice. Like now we have given them the open options. Like the child can opt accountancy along with the political science or some other subjects, sociology or psychology. So how should we run the
मैम अभी
timetable?
हमको ना
Like
अभी बच्चों को
we
बैकवर्ड जाना पड़ेगा. पहले तो उनको फॉरवर्ड सोचना पड़ेगा कि मुझे करना क्या है. राइट, एंड देन दे नीड टू मूव बैकवर्ड ऑल्सो. कि अच्छा मुझे अगर ये करना है आगे जाके तो मुझे ये लेना पड़ेगा. Right?
समझ रही हूँ मैं आपकी
A lot of
बात.
children are taking political
Hey, on
science,
this,
right? A lot of children are taking political science with, for example, physics. But a lot of schools are still not able to offer that, ma'am, because of
like for that, so I have an idea. Like we are having 4 streams in our school, all right? In which class, like in arts class, political science period is going on. In commerce section, it is an accounts period. In a science section, it is an physics period. Or in another no, medical, it is in a bio period. So the child can opt any 3 rest of the other one. You know, this can be the possibility. Another point which I want to know from you only, like whatever the main subject will be required for the particular stream, like the child wants to go for the NET
आप
exam or
देखिए मेन
this.
सब्जेक्ट्स तो अभी भी हमारे चेंज नहीं होंगे. वो हो ही नहीं सकते. अगर कॉमर्स लेनी है तो आपको अकाउंट्स, बीएसटी एंड
फिर
ये तो
मैम
पढ़ना ही
जब
पड़ेगा.
अकाउंट्स में आपने अकाउंट्स भी पढ़ना है, आपने बिजनेस स्टडीज भी पढ़ना है, तो व्हेन विल यू ऑप्ट फॉर द अदर सब्जेक्ट?
ऑप्शनल,
किसको रिप्लेस कर रहे हो?
ऑप्शनल और एडिशनल.
अच्छा, माने कि आपको कॉमर्स में सारा कुछ करना है, उसके साथ में आपको एक्स्ट्रा और ऑप्शनल. ओ माय गॉड मैम, फिर तो ये ओपन चॉइस नहीं हुई.
मैम ओपन चॉइस हो गई ना. अदरवाइज आप मुझे बताइए डॉक्टर बनना है तो मुझे पीसीबी तो करना पड़ेगा. आई
This
don't
was
have
the
any
only
choice.
point which we
But
were
if I'm
thinking.
interested in
Yes.
music, then I can take, just for example, I'll tell you. In our school, what we are doing is that we are taking
Okay, fine. Now I got it.
PCB, right? And one optional subject for the child and additional subject जिसकी classes हम कई बारी Saturdays को लेते हैं when other children are not coming. For additional subjects, we give them extra support on Saturdays when other school children are not coming. Because child is showing an interest in a particular thing. So why to tell him or her that, okay, no, you can't do anything about it. Ma'am, I'm so sorry. I'll just get my charger. Just a second, please. If you can just write 2 seconds. Otherwise my
Can I
laptop.
add
No
something
issues,
here,
ma'am.
ma'am?
No issues.
Kiran, ma'am, I'll just be back in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Kiran, ma'am, by the time you please continue.
Ma'am, the things which you are discussing now, what I have experienced, this has happened with my own son only. He was a science student, but he has chosen SODER program, that is the Computer and Business Dual Degree program in University of British Columbia. So there, this additional subject helped him a lot. Being a science student, he had to do commerce also, in which accountancy was the main subject, and he had to go for the examination of this. So that time I realized कि whatever NEP is bringing these days, it will be helpful for the students who are opting for the higher education in the other countries.
Like, ma'am, Kiran, ma'am, please do explain it again, please. I'm not getting it somewhere. I
Okay,
was.
okay.
Uh,
In
uh-huh.
yeah, till class 12 he had opted
Hmm.
science, right? उसने science
Okay.
पढ़ा 12 तक पूरा.
Hmm.
When he opted for SODER program in University of British Columbia, there apart
Okay.
Exactly.
he had to
Exactly.
go for the accountancy exam also. अब accountancy तो उसने नहीं
Exactly.
पढ़ी थी.
हाँ हाँ
तो
हाँ हाँ हाँ
मुझे यहाँ से उसकी क्लासेस अरेंज करनी पड़ी उसके accountancy प्रोग्राम के लिए.
Okay.
So
Okay.
NEP is focusing on that.
मैम
Now
मेरी
I
4
got
साल
it.
की ग्रेजुएशन है, राइट? अब्रॉड में 4 साल की ही ग्रेजुएशन होती है,
मैम
हमारे यहाँ पे
डिग्री
3 साल की होती है,
में
लेकिन
और
अब
भी
हमारे
आ
यहाँ पर भी
जाता है
4
उसके
साल
लिए.
की हो गई,
यस.
बिकॉज हमारे यहाँ पे बच्चों को बाहर जाके ब्रिज प्रोग्राम करना पड़ता था, राइट? पेरेंट्स
बिल्कुल
स्पेंड
हाँ.
मनी, एक्स्ट्रा मनी, राइट? सो नाउ हमारे यहाँ पर भी 4 साल की ग्रेजुएशन होगी, सो दैट वी आर एट पार विद ऑल अदर कंट्रीज.
यस, अंडरस्टूड
That's
मैम.
the whole point.
So I think all these changes, ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई random आ गए हैं, या I think everybody is thinking through them. Lot of deliberation has gone into it, lot of thought process gone into it, and I think these changes are a very welcome change. I think they give a lot of breathing space to children, and the children can
And
follow the passion also, ma'am. I have a
our
child
children are
I have a
going
child
globally.
who's doing science, but he only wants to pursue music. He's very clear in that. मुझे साइंस अच्छा लगता है, इसलिए मैं 11th-12th में साइंस कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन मुझे परस्यू जिंदगी में आगे म्यूजिक करना है. तो उसने हिंदुस्तानी वोकल म्यूजिक ले रखा है, बिकॉज ही वांट्स टू बिकम हिंदुस्तानी वोकल म्यूजिक सिंगर लेटर. वो बड़ा क्लियर है. सो ही हैज टेकन हिंदुस्तानी वोकल म्यूजिक एज एन ऑप्शनल सब्जेक्ट, राइट? एंड एज एन एडिशनल सब्जेक्ट ही हैज टेकन एन इंस्ट्रूमेंट, right? So he's like an additional subject. कई बारी schools हम पढ़ाते नहीं हैं, so but the children can go take, but we ensure that we take, obviously अगर मैंने additional दिया है तो मुझे practical भी कराना पड़ेगा उसका. मैं स्कूल में प्रैक्टिकल भी कराती हूँ, प्रैक्टिकल फाइल भी बनवाऊंगी, राइट? बट बच्चा पढ़ कहीं और रहा है. So I think it's a very
Optional तो we used to give them a period. Optional subject का तो we used to give a period.
हम तो
But
मैम रोज
additional
देते
का
हैं
तो
ऑप्शनल का पीरियड, हम रोज देते हैं
हाँ
ऑप्शनल का.
optional का हाँ डेली दे रहे हैं मैम,
और हम
हम भी
एडिशनल के
डेली
लिए
दे
क्या
रहे हैं.
करते हैं मैम?
एडिशनल
स्कूल
के
के
लिए मैम
बच्चे हमारे
इफ
सैटरडे को
पॉसिबल
नहीं आते हैं,
लाइक
सो एडिशनल
ओके
एडिशनल के लिए हम मैम उन बच्चों को सैटरडे को बुलाते हैं एक्स्ट्रा क्लासेस के लिए.
प्लस
टीचर्स
वन
कम,
प्लस टू.
+1 +2. You understanding what
अच्छा
I'm
they are not coming. Okay, they are not
our
coming on
children do not
Saturdays.
come on Saturdays. Okay, the Saturday is
Okay,
off for all
okay,
the complete school, but for
okay,
additional help, and we do not call them additional classes, we call them additional subject doubt classes.
okay.
And the teacher, for example, the music teacher or the tabla teacher is teaching the child 2 hours class on Saturday, right? But the child has to come. It is not like that the child can say that okay मैं नहीं आऊंगा तो भाई फिर आपकी मर्जी है, फिर आप जैसे मर्जी मैनेज करो. So, but
Exactly,
we are
exactly,
giving you support to
exactly.
you as a school.
Okay.
And moreover, for example, a child who's not doing well, is not done well in grade 11th at all, right? So you can give him an additional subject, okay? And he can come for the classes for the additional subject अपनी percentage बढ़ाने के लिए.
Definitely.
आपका टाइम टेबल का इशू भी सॉल्व हो गया, एंड बच्चे की पढ़ाई भी हो गई, एंड बच्चे को थोड़ी सपोर्ट भी मिल गया इन टर्म्स ऑफ. एंड स्कूल का टीचर पढ़ाना और कोचिंग का टीचर पढ़ाना बहुत अलग होता है मैम.
बहुत डिफरेंट है मैम, बिल्कुल डिफरेंट है. मोरओवर मुझे ये भी अच्छा लगा पॉइंट आपका कि 1 to 5 days are working for the +2, +1, +2 so that they can attend their tuitions and other coaching and they can give the time self study also. They have the plenty of time to for the self
Ma'am,
study.
there's
That's the lovely.
one more thing which we do, one more thing which we started doing from last year. Generally 10th का syllabus खत्म हो जाता है September. We all know that. September 15th October तक we have to finish the syllabus because हमको नवंबर में वो करने पड़ते हैं. तो हम लोग क्या करते हैं मैम, सितंबर में सिलेबस खत्म करा के स्कूल इनका छोटे बच्चों के साथ भेज देते हैं 10th और 12th को.
मैम सितंबर में आपके कैसे सिलेबस, आप हाफ ईयरली नहीं लेते?
नहीं, हाफ ईयरली हम लेते हैं मैम, बट हाफ ईयरली में हम ऑलमोस्ट पूरा सिलेबस लेते हैं जनरली, राइट?
तो अप्रैल मई जून.
मैम हर
जून इज
स्कूल मार्च
like
में शुरू कर देता है. यू आल्सो नो दैट क्लासेस फॉर 10th and 12th. We start the classes for 10th and 12th somewhere by mid of March. right? So March, April, May, then इनको हम छुट्टियों में भी एक हफ्ता एक्स्ट्रा बुलाते हैं, right? 10th और 12th को
मैम
only.
मार्च में तो हमारे पास स्टाफ ही नहीं होता, सारा इवैल्यूएशन ड्यूटी पे सीबीएसई
मैम
भेज
हम लोग
देती
टाइम
है।
टेबल ऐसे बनाते हैं कि हम इनकी 1.5 घंटे की क्लास ले सके, जो भी टीचर अवेलेबल होती है उसकी. आप
ओह
समझे?
दैट्स अ लवली
इनको
पॉइंट।
छोटे
हाँ
इनको
समझ गई।
इनको छोटे स्कूल के साथ भेज देते हैं, छोटे बच्चों के साथ भेज देते हैं, और
Like I
1.5
used
घंटे.
to finish my syllabus till September, October.
That's what
Like
I'm saying, ma'am.
15th October से भी आ जाता मैम।
I'll tell you,
15th October
इवैल्यूएशन
तक
के
हो
लिए
जाते हैं।
मैं भी जाऊंगी, सब जाएंगे. जो टीचर इवैल्यूएशन
हम्म
के लिए नहीं गया हुआ है उसकी 1.5 घंटे की क्लास कर देते हैं, स्पेशली इन 12th,
हम्म
right? So that she can
हम्म
finish her syllabus in time, right? And
हाँ
सितंबर
हाँ।
अक्टूबर के बाद हम स्कूल जल्दी भेज देते हैं छोटे बच्चों के साथ 10th और 12th को, so that they have self study time.
वो we are also doing that. They are also going 1 hour early, rest, as comparatively to other students.
So it's
They're
like
also going 1 hour
it's a
early.
win-win situation for children also, and for the parents also. They get a time for self study also.
Got it, ma'am. Got it. Let's see. Our strategies are too good. Let me see ki what can we follow up. है ना? That's too good. That's really too good.
So
Thank
I'm
you.
very happy that we are
Thank you.
talking about all this, because we struggle with the same thing
That
again
that
and
is
again and
really
again.
that is really interactive section. That is why it is an interactive session. And like Kiran ma'am or I'm thinking the teacher which discussed earlier, even she gave me a very good idea कि हाँ accountancy की उनको अपने बेटे के लिए बाहर से arrange करना पड़ा. That I understood now how the things can be managed. Thank you so much. Actually, I belong to a I am working under DAV, and but it is a small town, ma'am, wherever I am living. So no that such exposure. No doubt our children are like yesterday only we had a political science paper in Panchkula region. It was a tricky and tough paper. And from our side, the children are not able to understand the language. A deeper understanding it was required. They were required.
Oh,
And
but for my
so
school, the paper was very easy. But for the children, the paper was very
but
easy.
ma'am, for Panchkula region, it was tough. It was tough. Paper was really 12 नंबर का पेपर आपका एक ही चैप्टर से आ गया. आप सोचो एक सेट 3 में. That was the मतलब क्या बोलूं मैं आपको. चलो anyhow, that is
Well,
something
anyway, so
different.
I think a lot of good things are coming in. I think we need to adapt and improve upon. And मुझे लगता है कि अगर हम 9th क्लास तक भी जो भी रिकमेंडेशन NEP देता है वो डाल दें 9th क्लास तक, lot of things will automatically get sorted out in grade 10th, 11th, and 12th. I think art integration, competency based, having a science exhibition in school, right? Having rather we do. Somebody was asking about strategies. We do all subjects exhibition. All subject
ma'am.
means all subjects:
Yeah,
Sanskrit,
ma'am.
English, Hindi, French. So there is an exhibition, and we give option to children to participate in any. It administratively it's a Herculean process, but we float a Google form, right? And the children submit the Google form that they would like to participate in this exhibition, or you can do it manually also. And the children get to participate in that exhibition. So that becomes sometimes a lot of evidential support I get, right? And it is from grade 3 onwards. So imagine a class 3 child collaborating with a grade 9th and 11th class child. And a lot of times 9th and 11th class children help children in theater, in dance, in drama, in the exhibition. I help the teachers that, okay, let's prepare the children for a debate or whatever. So nukkad natak karwa diya bachon ne. So it's like these things are very, very effective, I think in the school. And the children get a lot of exposure. So I think uh, art integration is actually an amazing thing to do, ma'am, right? Varli art, ये सब, ma'am, इसमें कितने mathematical figures
We are
हैं,
following it, ma'am. We
right?
are
So
following
it's
it.
like,
We are doing
I
it.
think
Even
these
ma'am,
all the
Dada
things which
also.
NEP is suggesting, it's
Hmm.
actually worth. And I'm sure मैम ये सारे मैनुअल्स डाउनलोड करवा के रख लीजिए, प्रिंट करवा के रख लीजिए, या CBSE से मंगवा लीजिए. You can order them also, and have them. Teachers को planning activities सोचने की भी जरूरत नहीं पड़ती. All these manuals have amazing activities in them.
Okay.
So I think it's very, very important. And I think what I have realized is that creating a repository is very, very important. I think that really helps the new teachers who are joining in, and help them, they don't have to start from a scratch. And attrition, आप लोगों को पता ही है schools में आजकल कितना attrition rate होता है. So I think creating a repository where teachers put all their resources, their videos, their PPTs, their lesson plans, so that, the school is not starting again and again and again and then losing, and starting from a scratch. Right.
Rekha ma'am, are we following HPE from class 6 onwards, or in the junior sections also we are following?
मैम अभी हमने तो अभी नहीं शुरू किया है, to be very honest, right?
Okay, but
अभी
this
हम
year
लोगों
we are
ने
planning to start, and they are suggesting 1 period a day for the physical education. So we are trying our level best for
अभी तो मैम
inculcating
हम
that
लोगों ने
in
तो
the
1 पीरियड अभी
timetable.
नहीं किया है, एचपी अभी हम लोगों ने नहीं किया है, बट दे आर
Okay.
सेइंग, बट मैम पॉसिबल मेरे ख्याल से नहीं हो पाएगा, बेचारा स्पोर्ट्स डिपार्टमेंट तो पागल हो जाएगा।
मैम एक और बात बताइए, एक और
True,
बात
ma'am.
मैम, क्या
We have to recruit
टाइमिंग्स
more
थोड़े से
PTIs.
बढ़ाने पड़ेंगे?
हाँ जी मैम,
क्या टाइमिंग्स थोड़े से बढ़ाने पड़ेंगे एनईपी के साथ साथ?
आई डोंट थिंक सो
बिकॉज
मैम।
जैसे जैसे उनकी नहीं मैम, आई हैव सीन द एनसीएफ, पूरा मैंने रीड आउट करा उसको, एंड दे हैव गिवन इन द टाइम टेबल कि एक एक घंटे का पीरियड, फिर उसमें स्नैक ब्रेक, फलाना ढिमकाना,
मैम
अटरम
पॉसिबल
शटरम
नहीं
करते
है,
करते लाइक
एनसीएफ बोलता है बट
3:30 तक।
पॉसिबल नहीं हो पाएगा मैम,
मैम वो
टू
हाफ एन आवर
हेक्टिक हो
को ही
जाएगा।
डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर दिया है हम लोगों ने
एग्जैक्टली,
for 10 minutes for
एग्जैक्टली।
fruit break and 20 minutes for the other things.
ठीक है, वो वी विल आल्सो डू लाइक दिस, वो मेरे दिमाग में भी था, लेकिन व्हाट एल्स, लाइक फिजिकल एजुकेशन पीरियड, लाइक यू वर सेइंग कि फॉर
पॉसिबल
वन
नहीं हो
पर
पाएगा
डे,
मैम, अर्चना मैम,
नहीं
इट विल नॉट
पॉसिबल,
बी
नहीं
पॉसिबल,
नहीं
बहुत
नहीं
मुश्किल हो
पॉसिबल।
जाएगी मैम। कितना डिपार्टमेंट आप एम्प्लॉय करोगे? अब जिसके पास 2,500-3,000 बच्चा है वो कितने टीचर्स एम्प्लॉय करेगा मैम फिजिकल एजुकेशन के?
मोर ओवर मैम,
Ma'am,
एट द
seven
हाँ, एट द टाइम तो हम
7
3-4
already are
क्लासेस।
working.
That's what I'm saying. Rather, what we
अच्छा, यू
have
आर
done
हैविंग
is that we
7?
have started clubs, ma'am, once a week,
ओके
Yeah,
right, for a
ओके
1 hour period. So what we have
social club
started,
and
we
the
have
other.
done cricket club, football club, music club, dance club, Indian instruments club, ऐसे करके बहुत सारे club, personality development club, एक एक घंटे का डाल दिया है once a week, so that the children are getting a lot of exposure, right? So that we have
Except
started.
Archana ji and Kiran ji, anyone else wants to add something?
Ma'am, this is a
सॉरी
platform where
ट्विंकल
we
मैम।
are,
नहीं, please, I am
and
liking it. I am feeling कि why others are not speaking up.
when a
That's why.
person like Rekha ma'am is there ना, so we हम लोग शायद और
इवन
कहीं
आई
पूछते भी नहीं.
लाइक टॉकिंग टू
When ma'am
सीमा
has
नायडू
the
मैम, आई
answers for our questions, so the questions are automatically coming.
Yeah, I know. I am liking it.
एग्जैक्टली।
I'm surprised कि why no other people are not asking anything. That's why I asked.
So please, if you have any doubt, please get in touch with, I think, Twinkle ma'am, I think, and you're most welcome to take any kind of, I think, and this is a forum where we learn from each other. That's very, very important.
Yeah,
एग्जैक्टली।
definitely.
We get answers from each other, so I
Seema ji, you are
think,
not saying anything today. What's up?
हाँ जी सीमा मैम, आज आप बोले नहीं यार, अभी एक ही बारी बोले हो आप पूरे सेशन में।
आप लोग पूछिए,
हेलो
मैं
मैम।
बताऊं।
Vinod ji, you have any question? Vinod ji were saying something.
Yes, Vinod sir, yesterday it was very interesting conversation with you.
He is there or he has left?
Here I want to say one thing. The conversation is going on, so I did not disturb. The topic was going on for the stream, and student supposed to choose कि उसको कहाँ जाना है,
हाँ जी।
डॉक्टर बनना है, इंजीनियर बनना है, क्या करना है। तो हम लोगों ने यहाँ पे काउंसलर रखा हुआ है जो कैरियर काउंसलिंग, और बच्चों को और पेरेंट्स को वो गाइड करते हैं। हम किसी को फोर्स नहीं करते, जस्ट हम निकाल के रखते हैं। अगर हम लोग बात करें कि हम लोग कितने स्ट्रीम में जा सकते हैं, सो वी से नॉर्मली 100, 200, 400, 500. Can anybody have any idea how many streams are there?
No, ma'am. It can be
It is
endless, ma'am, actually.
7,000.
It can be endless, ma'am. I agree.
It is a
कहीं पर कुछ
7,000.
भी तुम
I'm
कनेक्ट
giving
कर
you
सकते हो,
figure.
मैम।
It is a 7,000 streams are there जिसको हम कभी टच भी नहीं कर पाते हैं।
मैम नहीं कर
तो
पाएंगे, इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल।
हाँ, तो उस पे हम लोग अभी काम कर रहे हैं। एक तिरुवनंतपुरम में एक लाइफोलॉजी काउंसलिंग कैरियर का एक डिपार्टमेंट है पूरा, एंड दे आर अटैच विद द सीबीएसई from 2022. So I'm working for them and I'm a cluster head for Maharashtra.
ग्रेट।
तो बच्चों को और पेरेंट्स को हम लोग कन्वे गाइड करते हैं कि आप ये सब्जेक्ट्स हैं आपके सामने ये उसके ऑप्शंस है, फ्यूचर में ये कहाँ जाएंगे, कैसे जाएंगे, और आपको जॉब का ऑप्शन उसमें कहाँ आएगा, ये पूरा हम लोग साल भर उनको गाइड करते हैं, एंड इट इज फ्रॉम 8th स्टैंडर्ड ऑनवर्ड.
हाँ मैम,
So
हम
it
मैं
is working.
इसीलिए
Yeah,
मैंने
it is
बोला मैम कि
working.
मैंने भी इस नोटिस किया है, दैट 8th स्टैंडर्ड इज द राइट एज टू.
राइट प्लेस, क्योंकि
यस,
9, 10, 11, 12 का उनका फिक्स हो जाता है
बिल्कुल फिक्स हो
ट्यूशन
जाता है
का,
मैम.
एंड देन दे डोंट वांट टू मूव फ्रॉम देयर.
उनसे ज्यादा तो पेरेंट्स का फिक्स हो जाता है मैम, बच्चों से बेचारों से ज्यादा.
एग्जैक्टली. हाँ, एग्जैक्टली.
Rekha ji, I think we have done with the.
Yes,
Yeah,
I think I
yes.
had a great time. I'm based in Gurgaon, attended a session in
Good
Rohtak
evening.
in the morning on NCF, a CBSE session. I ran from there and I landed, and I think I
Hats off
landed at
you.
7:05. I landed, and 7:15 I took this session because I had promised Twinkle ma'am that I'll be taking the session. अभी धीरे धीरे मेरा गला गया because पूरे दिन बोला है, right?
Now you
But
take rest now, take some
yes,
tea and water. We
yes,
are
I
all.
will do that. But
Thank
I
you,
think,
everyone.
Hello.
Yeah,
हाँ जी मैम.
Devyani ji. Yeah, Devyani ji want to say something.
Hello. Good
Yes,
evening,
Devyani
ma'am.
ma'am. Good evening.
Yeah. Actually, I work with State Board, State Maharashtra State Board,
Right,
and
ma'am.
there was lot of confusion about this NEP policy. And I work in a government school, government convent school, so I had no clarity about the policies. And today, after attending of this 2 days, this session, quite more clear idea I got. And thank you for everything.
Thank you
It
so
was
much,
really good.
Devyani ma'am.
Thank
Very
you,
kind of
Can
you to
please
say
let
that.
me know if there are any sessions ahead? I shall definitely attend. Because what happens is I am well versed with English. We have studied in medium, and that is why it is easier to understand. The government campaigns or whatever sessions which they arrange aren't in English. They are in the local language, which are very difficult to understand, and that is the reason today I was really I have got a clearer idea about the policy entire thing. Thank you so much. And in fact, I learned more about uh, how CBSE works and wherever we are lagging behind, that also I can make out. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Devyani ji.
Right. Thank you so
Don't
much.
Thank
worry,
you, everyone,
Devyani
for
ji.
coming here
Now,
for the session.
yeah,
हाँ जी, सीमा मैम.
Yeah, Seema.
let's clear for now the all the state board is about to come in a CBSE pattern. तो टाइम लोगों को जो ट्रेनिंग सेशंस मिलना है वो जरूर मिलेगा. So don't worry
Yes,
about it.
ma'am.
I know.
Yeah, sure.
क्योंकि
Thank you.
एनसीईआरटी की बुक्स आप लोगों को कंपलसरी कर दी गई है. इन महाराष्ट्र में तो हो गई है. I do not know about the other
No,
states.
ma'am, it's not compulsory. It is only compulsory from grade 9th, from 6th, 7th, 8th.
From
So
9th
still,
only.
at least in Haryana, you can use any book you want to.
That is everyone is doing, मैम. 6, 7, 8 उनके तो 50 प्रकार के पब्लिकेशंस आते हैं affiliated CBSE में
9,
भी.
10th, 11th, 12th is
9,
only
10th only
NCERT,
they
ma'am.
go for the NCERT.
NCERT.
But
Absolutely on NCERT, ma'am.
where I am working there, I started 6th onward only NCERT.
मैम जरूरी है,
बाकी
मुझे भी लगता है बहुत जरूरी
बहुत
है.
जरूरी है, क्योंकि क्या होता है एनसीईआरटी का लेवल जो है वो थोड़ा नीचे है बाकी पब्लिकेशन के बुक से. तो
Yes.
फिर 6, 7, 8 उनका इंग्लिश एकदम
Yes.
हायर लेवल का, और वो ऑल ऑफ सडन जब यहाँ आते हैं तो उनके लिए तकलीफ होने लगा था.
हाँ जी,
दैट आई हैव सीन इन 10 years बिफोर.
Yes,
तो
ma'am.
हमने 6th ऑनवर्ड हम लोगों ने कंपलसरी इंग्लिश और वो सब एनसीईआरटी कर दिया, एंड नाउ वी आर हैप्पी.
Thank you, Seema ji, for the nice information. Rekha ji.
अच्छा, मैं
thanks.
ट्विंकल जी, मुझे यहाँ एक चीज बोलना है. आपने ये सब लिया, शायद यहाँ जितने प्रिंसिपल बैठे हैं उन लोगों को भी ये होगा. स्वैग हर साल फिल करना है.
Yes,
इसके
ma'am.
ऊपर अगर कोई आप स्पेशल जिनको बहुत पूरी जानकारी है, मेरी आधी अधूरी जानकारी है इसलिए मैं ये सेशन नहीं लूंगी, तो आप किसी
ठीक है, definitely we will let you know. Yeah, Seema ji,
स्वैग इज
definitely.
वेरी कंफ्यूजन टॉपिक राइट नाउ.
Okay, I will.
मैम कोई
Okay.
क्लैरिटी है नहीं ना अभी तक. सब कुछ हेयर से
हाँ,
पे चल रहा है.
सच्ची में,
सब कुछ
सच्ची
हेयर
में.
से पे
लेकिन
चल रहा है
अभी
अभी तक.
हाँ, अभी हम लोग जो ऑलरेडी एफिलेटेड है उनको कहते हैं दिसंबर में भरो. अभी हमने फिल किया दिसंबर में, अभी फिर वो सरस में ये डालो वो डालो. अरे सेम चीज सब जगह आ रही, वही ओएसिस में, वही पोर्टल सरल में, और वही फिर स्वैक में भी. सो
We
इट
will
इज वेरी.
definitely do on this. Rekha ji, should we wind up the things now?
Sorry?
Should we wind up the session now?
Yes. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. It was
Yeah.
wonderful.
थैंक यू
I think,
ट्विंकल. थैंक यू.
Thank you,
Rekha
Rekha ji.
ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Seema ji.
ma'am.
Thank you, Archana ji. Everyone, thank you for
Thank
such
you.
an
Thank
interactive
you, ma'am.
session.
Seema ma'am, thank you so much. I love talking to you. Next time we will definitely meet, है ना? Thank you so much, Seema ma'am. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Seema
Rekha ji,
ma'am.
for
Thank
such a
you.
Thank you
nice
so much,
session.
everyone. Good night.
Thank you.
And we'll see you
Good
soon.
night.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Twinkle ma'am. Bye.